What's up, guys? Jamie here, and today is episode 18 of No Turning Back already. There's only two more episodes until 20, and we're mainly going to discuss. I can hear an echo. We mainly are going to discuss, obviously, the big return, as the title says, or wherever you're seeing it. Shane McMahon's return. Then we're going to talk about what went down, and then just what we think is going to happen for WrestleMania time. As always, I'm here with my co-host. Would you like to say anything?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Razman's Reality's here. I can't believe it's 18 episodes already. We're maybe have to plan something for 20. And I'm turning my headphones down a little bit so maybe they won't echo as bad. But yeah, really interesting week this week in WWE for sure. A lot to talk about this week. So,
Yes.
do you want to start while I get all the tweeting action happened?
I'll get the link. You talk.
Okay. Well, obviously, the big story that happened this week was the whole Vincent J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award thing. Vince comes out, and just like we thought, it's going to be something to set up a storyline because he gives it to Stephanie, and then everybody's like rolling their eyes and like, oh, really? Stephanie with her terrible acting.
And then the unexpected happened, which yes, Stephanie cannot act to save her life. I mean, I'm not any sort of an actress or a professional, but I'm pretty sure I could act better than that.
Yeah, she just, as many years as she's been doing this, she actually got worse. She was much better when she was younger.
Her acting has gotten worse.
Everything.
Worse. How do you get that bad?
I have no idea.
Like, gosh, even Vince has better acting skills. His facial expressions are always on point and quite hilarious.
They are on point, but speaking of Vince's facial expressions being on point, all of a sudden, Steph's about to give her speech from winning the award, and all of a sudden, here comes the money. I mean, that place went insane. I haven't heard a pop like that since The Rock first came back in Valentine's Day 2013. Or Brock Lesnar returning. I mean, it was that kind of pop. The roof literally came off the building, and I have a feeling that that's one of those times where if you were there, the whole building would have shook.
It took a while for them to calm down. Like, Shane was kind of sitting there, like, letting the fans get it out of their system. But nobody saw this coming. Nobody. There wasn't even a hint. There was not even mention of Shane. Like, normally with like wrestlers like Michelle or McCool or even like any wrestler for that matter may have some sort of like update on them, like, oh, they had a baby, or they recently moved to another part of the United States, or they got a little acting role somewhere. But with Shane, nothing. You didn't even hear about his business. You didn't even hear any updates on him. So it was a very nice. It was a nice shock, though.
It was, and I couldn't believe until they said it, because you lose track of time. It really has been 7 years since we had seen him in a WWE ring. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, I know. And then guess what they announced?
Oh, well, we're gonna get to that, but we've been talking this whole time about Undertaker's opponent, and the news was it was somebody unexpected.
They were not joking when they said unexpected. They were not kidding.
Yeah,
they were not kidding.
I was gonna say they completely delivered on the unexpected aspect. So I'll turn it over to you to talk about that part of it.
Okay, so originally, obviously, we're kind of like back to square one. Like, who does he face now, and what's going on from here? And when it was Braun Strowman, and then it got nixed, and then it said it was somebody either not in the company, not currently with the company, or not signed. And then, well, before they said that, we said it was someone unexpected. So we were trying to put the puzzle together. Who's somebody unexpected, but not signed with WWE, either not currently wrestling, or the third one that I mentioned, and then when they said someone unexpected, and then Shane came out, I was like, they said it would be unexpected, and they weren't kidding. Shane was not even remotely even in my mindset.
Yeah,
Even if it had wait, hold on. He wasn't even in my mindset. Not just about who Undertaker's opponent could be. He just wasn't in my mind at all. Not even for this year, and even way before WrestleMania, he would never even cross my mind. Like, obviously knew, like, about Shane, and I didn't forget about Shane, but he didn't really cross my mind because I thought he never would have came back. But then him and I, and obviously hundreds and thousands of other fans or millions of other fans, were kind of trying to put the jigsaw together. Like, okay, so it's got to be on Undertaker's level, obviously. It's somebody unexpected, and it's somebody not signed with WWE, not currently wrestling, or is just not on the main roster right now. And it's like, who could fit that description? And then obviously Shane fits that description. He's not currently on the roster, and he's unexpected. So it was a very, very nice surprise, and I feel like it lives up to a match that is needed for WrestleMania, especially Undertaker's opponent. And before you say anything, even without the streak now, the Undertaker's match is still like the caliber thing at WrestleMania. It's the one thing every year, even without the streak, it's still more relevant than anything. Even without the streak, it's like, okay, who's Undertaker going to face this year? It's like the marketing thing, the place to go to when you're a wrestler, to face not only to go to WrestleMania, but to face Undertaker at WrestleMania. So what were you going to say?
No, I was going to echo everything you've been saying. That this was the last guy that was on anybody's radar. I mean, we were pulling every name in the world out of that, but Shane McMahon was nowhere in anybody's brain.
No, that's what I love about WWE. Like, yes, they do things that are quite expected, and most of it is spoiled because we have social media, which I'm really surprised they were able to keep that a secret. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. I like how we got actually something unexpected and not predictable for once, And within WWE, anything can happen, no matter how horrible or predictable WWE's current state might be.
Do you want to talk about the whole storyline stipulation and how they could actually make it to where Shane could get control of Raw without Undertaker losing? Or do you think that's too soon to be talking about that right now?
We could, or maybe we could save it because we don't know what Undertaker's going to say tomorrow night.
Sure.
I mean, he might, who knows, what if he doesn't face Shane? What if it's just he's on Shane's team? Or what if Undertaker turns heel? Or we don't really know. But I was going to say, adding to about Hell in a Cell, is that not only the Hell in a Cell, not only did they say that they were facing, but it would be in a Hell in a Cell. And my face, like, not dropped, but my face was just like, I was like, we already have Shane returning. Then we have Undertaker involved in it. And then in a Hell in a Cell, you know how amazing these two are in Hell in a Cell matches. They go absolutely crazy. Even at Undertaker's age, he went ballistic in that Hell in a Cell match. So, with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of worries me, just from a logistics standpoint,
but his age still worries me though. It worried me when he was against Brock Lesnar, and then it was in a Hell in a Cell. But I'm like, he didn't go. He wasn't like he was doing back in the day with the Hell in a Cell, but he was more safe and like. And then, I mean, he wasn't hurt or anything. I'm pretty sure. I think he bladed himself, but he was bleeding. But like a lot of wrestlers bleed in matches, and those go away. So, but what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that that's the part that worries me. I mean, Hell in a Cell is a fantastic stipulation, and every time you involve Hell in a Cell, you're gonna go, yeah, all kinds of craziness. But the fact that it's a 50-year-old guy and a 46-year-old guy, and that 46-year-old guy hasn't done this in 7 years.
Exactly. Oh, something else though, but he is ripped he's very, very healthy. Actually rolling around this time of the year. Normally it's the other way around, and we're like, oh my gosh, is Undertaker gonna be like physically healthy enough to wrestle this year? But this year it's the other way around, where like half of the roster can't wrestle. The Undertaker is actually the healthy one this year. I'm more not as worried because he's so healthy, but there's always that worry in the back of my mind because he's my favorite, so, and because of his age. But
Right.
he's always outproves everybody. Just when I think, oh my gosh, Undertaker's gonna die, and then he's fine. So
Undertaker always raised his game, which is why I think he went to eliminated schedule, not just because of what his body was doing, but the other part of it might be psychological, where he just got to a point where I have to be an A plus, a million plus player at WrestleMania. I need to psych myself up for WrestleMania every year. And he sure
exactly, and that's why I love him so much, why I appreciate him so much, and why he's my favorite, because of I mean, those aren't the only reasons, but one of the many reasons why I love him so much. And it that kind of worries me at the same time, because I'm like, Undertaker, it doesn't matter what you do. You know how much we'll always support you. So I'm like, don't kill yourself. I think it's amazing how he always has us in the back of his mind when he's wrestling, which some wrestlers don't give two craps about you. So
Undertaker literally is, like, I'm not being cheesy, I'm not being over the top because Jamie's here, but Undertaker literally is the symbol of WWE. When you think of this company, that's who you think about. So, I mean, that proves that's why, because he cares so much about everything that he does. So.
Oh, and you were asking about how Undertaker could win, or how Shane could win without. Do you want to go on that now? Because I was just gonna post something to Facebook that we're live.
Well, I was just gonna talk about.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The stipulation, the whole stipulation of Shane being put, could be put in charge of Raw if he wins the match.
It nicely adds to it, by the way.
It's a wonderful stipulation, wonderful storyline, and it's actually something we both want to see. Like, we were talking all week, as we always do, and we both are really tired of Triple H and Stephanie as the authority figures by themselves. So Shane with some kind of control would be really interesting. The big problem is nobody wants Undertaker to lose at WrestleMania ever again. So the question is, how do they get around that and have Undertaker still win, but still have Shane get some say-so? And
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that the reason why I don't want Undertaker to win, to lose, my gosh, to lose, is because not only because we don't want to see Undertaker lose again, but because that 22-1, that one significant loss, I think he needs to stay as one loss. It's not fair to Brock Lesnar either. Like, he's the one that broke the streak, and then you're gonna have him lose, and you're gonna have him lose to like the son-in-law. I mean, Shane's great, don't get me wrong, but still, I don't really like that idea of having him lose for a second time, and then, what was the point? What about Brock Lesnar? Like, he's that 22-1. He is that one person that, beat Undertaker.
That's why I kind of like the idea of a team stipulation, because if Undertaker and Shane team up, then Shane can still get a win without Undertaker getting a loss. The only other way I could see this work is if there was a scenario that would cause Undertaker to lose that people wouldn't be upset about, which I told you what my idea was.
Yeah, but that's still a loss. That's still a loss.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's still a loss. That's what I was going to say. It's a good idea. You agreed that it was a good idea, but it's still, which what it would be for Sting to get involved at the end, cost Undertaker the match because he hates the authority that much, and that sets up a 1-year build to that match finally happening at next Mania. But we need a loss on Undertaker's record. That's the problem. So I don't know.
Can I mention though that
again, I think here has put a great storyline out there, but backed themselves into a corner, because if they have Undertaker lose, nobody wants that.
what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. No, never mind. Go ahead.
No, that's all. I was just finishing a sentence. I didn't mean to cut you off when you were trying to talk there. But Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is it's a beautiful storyline, and I want to see it come to fruition, but not at Undertaker's expense. So I think WWE has painted themselves into a corner again, and I think that's the biggest problem is that they try to do something different and something fun and something exciting, but then they, you know, give us a scenario where it's like a lose lose scenario.
Did you want to say anything else?
No, I'm good.
What I was gonna say. What I was gonna say. I don't know. Okay. Trying to remember what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say that. No, never mind. Just move on. What else did you want to say?
Well, I mean,
I had a lot of things to say, but I forgot.
I mean that's really it. I mean,
Oh wait, no, I remember. I was gonna say that I have a feeling even if Shane loses, like he's still going to have some sort of involvement. So they could still have Undertaker win, but have maybe like I don't know some sort of stipulation after not involving Undertaker, where like Shane could still get involved with trying to win the company or something like that. But
sure. I mean, they
that's really
could.
what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
I was just agreeing. There could be a million different ways to make it still happen, and that's what makes WWE creative so enjoyable. And that's why what you were saying earlier, I think is true. I think sometimes people like speculate too soon, and they need to let stuff play out more.
Oh, you know what people were saying
Before,
is, what if Undertaker comes on tomorrow? Which is not going to happen, and it's more fantasy than anything. But what if, which it wouldn't really, I guess it really wouldn't work. But it's interesting here what people's like fantasy are about certain things. What if like Undertaker doesn't want to do that, but he teams with Shane, and then someone else comes out as Vince's, I guess, puppet, and people were saying like a heel Cena, but that's just fantasy, and he's still hurt. So
no, that would be great if it could happen, but it can't happen.
no, it would. That's what I was saying. It's more a fantasy than what will actually happen. But there's something along those lines too that
Yeah,
people were talking about.
and I definitely could see, Vince, having somebody. But the problem with the tag match,
And I was saying it doesn't
uh,
work at WrestleMania though, especially with Undertaker. Even without the streak, it always only works like one-on-one type of
yeah,
stuff.
it
So.
does. It doesn't. Undertaker in a tag match at WrestleMania doesn't. It doesn't feel right. It only ever happened anything close. It was a handicap match during the
But it
American
wasn't
Badass.
relevant then. His he wasn't really as big then as
Yeah,
he's now. So
yeah, exactly, and it has no. It's not the same thing as a tag team match anyway. So I like the idea, but I don't because you know what I mean. Like
no, you like it, but you do, but you don't like what the outcome is. Like I would love for Shane to take over. It'd be a nice change of pace for for spicing up the storyline for the Authority because what it's been like 4 years with them. It's been a
exactly.
while,
Yeah.
and I could see like if the match does happen, them putting on a good match, Undertaker winning, but Shane still finding a way to like win the company. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I still think regardless of who wins, there will still be a storyline after between them. So you could still have Undertaker win and then somehow have Shane still go on to
Yeah.
win it.
But I think these are going to be some of the most interesting 40 plus days that we've had. Wow. Like watching this storyline play out is going to be very, very interesting.
Because what we're saying now, it all depends on what Undertaker says tomorrow. There might not even be Shane McMahon versus Undertaker tomorrow night. We might get something else. I mean, but I like the direction that they're going in. It adds to not only the authority, but it's something unexpected and needed for like WrestleMania time now since everybody's hurt. And then to have it with Undertaker involved is just absolutely amazing. And I was gonna say after that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say, but go ahead.
I was just saying, we were talking about this all the time off the air, all week. Was when's the last time something like this happened where one
Oh yeah, I remember.
person's storyline causes this much speculation?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it adds something interesting and not to say that Undertaker's, everyone every year wants to know who he's going to face. And even though we've only had one WrestleMania without the streak, it's interesting what kind of prestige they add for Undertaker's match. It's always the big topic. It's always something special every year, even now without the streak. But yeah, what I'm sure we're gonna add is the fact that we usually know every year who he's gonna face. So it added a lot of discussion and it added the not knowing. It added the unpredictability to that. So that's the one good thing that actually came out of all the injuries.
Exactly, and now we've gone from that to this, where we're gonna have until the match happens to think about what are they gonna do with this whole amazing storyline that they've set up here. So yeah, bravo WWE creative. Like I can't remember last time.
For once.
Yeah, and then we got another great match.
Oh yeah.
For WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose in a no-holds barred.
I mean, I love the Wyatt family, and they were building the Wyatt family up strong. Obviously, Brock Lesnar needs an opponent who is strong. I mean, you don't want him going in there with somebody weak and somebody nobody wants to see. That's not fair to Brock Lesnar, and especially going off of feuds with The Undertaker and being the one to beat the streak. He needs to look unbelievably strong, and he needs opponents that will benefit him to look stronger. And while I love the Wyatt family, I really, really do, I wasn't really too interested in seeing Bray Wyatt face The Undertaker, but Dean Ambrose versus The Undertaker, and not Undertaker, Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar in a street fight, and the stipulation for that added also makes it quite amazing as well.
Yeah, because Dean Ambrose, I mean, he lives up to his gimmick. He is a lunatic. And that guy will do so many things in this match. I mean, he will not win the match. At least I don't think he will ever.
Brock Lesnar needs to keep winning, because why is it he won against Undertaker, but then he can't win at another WrestleMania? Like, if he has to remain strong all the time, but especially at WrestleMania, he needs to win. I love Dean Ambrose. Don't get me wrong, I really, really do, but Dean doesn't need to win. He can win against other people, but not Brock Lesnar. I'm only saying this for it to benefit Undertaker.
Yeah.
But one more thing I wanted to say was that Bray Wyatt, I like Bray Wyatt, but I also feel sort of bad because they built them up against this, and then it changed, and now they kind of don't have anywhere to go or anything to do.
Well, I'll talk about my opinions on what you just said there in a second, but just to wrap up Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose situation, I think Dean Ambrose is going to be one of those people that's going to be made in a loss. He will lose to Brock Lesnar, but he will be seen as a main event player for many, many years after the performance he puts on in this match.
Yes. The Hell in a Cell match, the Brock Lesnar match are two great matches on the card right now. Well, I was going to say something. It's a nice change. Like, I thought Brock Lesnar was going to face Bray Wyatt, and then we got Dean Ambrose, which is a lot better opponent for Brock Lesnar than Bray Wyatt.
It is. And then going off what you were just saying, the biggest problem that the Wyatt family has is not that they're not good and they're not deserving of a high-profile spot. It's just that WWE continues to build them up, build them up and build them up, and then they lose. They lost a freaking 6-man tag. Like we were talking before Fastlane last week on the predictions. We thought that was a lock. We thought Wyatt family has to win that match, and then they didn't. They lost.
If he's going, I was like, they must win because this is before we knew that Dean and Brock Lesnar were facing. But anyway, we thought they had so much momentum. They were booked strong because to face Brock Lesnar. And then they just have him lose. And then it's just, I don't know.
I don't know. Wait,
what was the point of all the momentum? Even if he wasn't gonna like, what was the point of all the momentum then to have him lose? And then all of a sudden, like, you built them up all that, and then you just switch the storyline on them. He's facing Dean, and then where does Bray Wyatt and everybody go? And then you had them lose. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just unfortunate. It's in a really unfortunate situation because it's like, what do you do with the Wyatts now? It's almost like, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to see this, especially right now with the state the roster's in. But it's almost like, logistically, you think about, should the Wyatt family go?
Great, it froze. Raz froze. Fucking great. Great. Okay, well, I'm really about to end this, and I'm really about to just not do this because Raz is pissing me off. Everybody's pissing me off. I'm still here, by the way, guys. I just went to get my phone. Raz froze. I don't know what he was about to say. But, I mean, like, it just, I like the Wyatt family, and I'm not saying that, they were a bad opponents or anything, but I'm glad that Dean is the opponent instead of Bray Wyatt, but it's like, why would you build them up all that to not have them face and then to just drop them off with a loss, But I don't know what else to talk about because he froze, and it's not like I'm live where I can just go off of what I'm seeing. And I really don't feel like ending this call because then everything that I said is not going to come out the same way. So, anyways, what were you saying? I was like going on run-on sentences when you were gone.
I was trying to figure out what was going on with my internet because I saw you freeze, and then I realized I was getting a network error message, and I was like, oh crap, my internet's spiking and crashing.
Okay, so, well, finish your thought.
I was talking about how did the Wyatt family kind of need to go away and get repackaged and then, go on a rampage and win all the titles and get some credibility back, because the seesaw booking of win, lose, it loses all credibility for them, and it takes away great characters.
They had them built like crazy. Like, they had them strong, I mean, you kind of have to when going into a match with Brock Lesnar. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this whole thing, it's very, very hard to invest in them, because every time you think they're going to go to the moon, they have...
just finish your thought.
Sorry about that, the phone. But yeah, every time you think they're going to go to the moon, they fall back down from being booked to lose. So I don't know. How would you fix the Wyatt family? It's just very frustrating.
I honestly don't know, because they were going great with them. For the Wyatt family, it was going great. They had momentum, and then they just dropped it with them. I don't necessarily know what I would do, but they got to do something. Because they're good. They're good. I like the Wyatt family. I like how they went on, like, a nonstop look, just like slaughtering everybody. But just, if you're going to do something, please don't have them lose, win, or build up all this momentum to just lose. Or have them lose all the time, because then that won't get them anywhere either. So, first start fixing about the wins and losing, and find somebody for them. What did you want to add?
No, that you pretty much wrapped it up there. So, do you have anything else where you want to take the show now? Because to me, the only other big thing that happened this week was the formation of Y2AJ.
Oh, by the way, before we do this, I am filming my live reaction to The Undertaker because The Undertaker is going to be on Raw on Monday, and that's when we're really going to know what's going to go down more into the storyline. But I'm filming. Raz will be with me. I'm going to be live here on No Turning Back. Not No Turning Back. Live on here on Google Hangouts to film my Raw reactions with Raz, and you guys will see me react live to The Undertaker on Monday. So if you want to see me react live on Monday to The Undertaker, you need to subscribe to this channel. You need to tell people. You need to come in here now so you know. And you should stay the whole time because we will not just be reacting just to The Undertaker. We'll be reacting to the whole show. But you mainly, you're coming to see me react to this one.
Although I gotta say, if Undertaker kicks off Raw, then the whole thing will just, it will kind of fail. Like the whole night we'll be talking about that reaction was so great the whole time.
Yeah. As I was saying, I will be filming my reaction to The Undertaker on Monday. It'll be live, so you guys will be there reacting right along with me. Mainly, you'll probably be watching me freak out. But besides, before I got interrupted, besides me filming my Undertaker reaction, we will both be reacting to the whole thing. So regardless if Undertaker starts off the show or ends the show or is in the middle, we will be reacting. I was saying that that not only do you have me reacting to Undertaker, you have me reacting to the whole Raw. And I mean, you're mainly coming to see me react to him, but whatever. What did you want to say about AJ Styles versus AJ Styles and Jericho? I can get my case back on my phone.
I just think that it was a wonderful twist. The storyline, they had a great match at Fastlane, and now they're a tag team. I love it. I hope that they go for the tag titles in a way. Like I hope it's like a fatal four-way match for the tag titles in a way. But then in a way, maybe it's leading to a fourth match, which would work if it was like an Iron Man match or some crazy stipulation like that. But at the same time, I don't really want to see a fourth match. I'm not a big fan of fourth matches in any scenario.
And technically, since they're tagging, and if they went on to face another tag team or go after from the New Day, because I heard that the New Day and Jericho and all that between them was absolutely amazing. I mean, Jericho tweeted a picture. He was like all bruised right here, and he had not tweeted on Instagram. He was all red right here, had a scratch right there. So, I mean, not that I like to see wrestlers actually in legitimate pain, but I was guessing that it was hardcore on SmackDown.
It was
from the pictures that I saw.
Yeah, it was a flippin' amazing match, and that's
what they should do to face them. That would be nice.
I would
technically would not be a fourth match between them because they're not facing; they are together facing.
Right, I would love Y2AJ to stay together and get a run at New Day, but then at the same time, I'm gonna want Y2AJ to win the tag team titles, and I don't want. We talked about this last week. I want something good for Jericho and Styles, but I don't want New Day to lose. I don't ever want New Day to lose because New Day is just awful. So
exactly, I would want them to win, but then at the same time, I don't want New Day to lose their titles. I love New Day, and I feel like it would hurt more of New Day than it would Jericho and AJ Styles, because even if they lose, they could do other great things together somewhere else. It's not really going to hurt them. But if they had a match like that on SmackDown and a segment like that on SmackDown, could you imagine what they could do, the four of them at WrestleMania? They should definitely book that. But I was reading that they want to put like New Day in that because they don't not really sure what to do with New Day, so they wanted to put them in like the Andre the Giant battle. I was like, please no, can you just do what you did on SmackDown, but take it to a higher level on WrestleMania between those
I,
four?
I,
Like even
I,
if Jericho and AJ Styles doesn't win, and that's the only feud they ever have together, I'll be fine with that. So, okay,
I agree
Mr.
with
Boy.
that. I was just gonna say, would you rather see those four in a match, or would you rather see like the other tag team feud of the Dudley Boys and the Usos get thrown in there and it's all four teams and like some
Yeah.
crazy TLC match?
Yes,
I
but
mean,
no. Like I think that would. Yes, but no. If that makes any sense, that would be nice. But I kind of just want to see New Day and Y2 AJ face simply because of what happened on SmackDown. Like I didn't see most of it. Actually, I didn't see any of it except for that part. And then from the Instagram picture, I was like, I'm guessing it was pretty bad, but on SmackDown then, because Jericho had his whole right here was all red and beat up. So
and it still could
it went
be.
down. You know, it went down.
You for sure do, and it still could be what you've said before about it just being WrestleMania time, and we really don't know. But WWE for sure has made SmackDown relevant again, at least right now. So
Oh
if you're
yeah.
not, so if you're not watching SmackDown, it's actually really good. They're putting on great matches and actually progressing storylines. Like the tag team got a name on SmackDown, which
Exactly.
it just proves that you know, for right now anyway, you can't miss any WWE programming. So
Hopefully
you
they hopefully I'm wrong and that they continue to be like this after WrestleMania. But um yeah, I'm hoping they do that for WrestleMania. Those four tag together. I feel like what you mentioned would be good for like a B show, to add something to it because WrestleMania doesn't matter what they do, always has special stuff there. Um but I really just want to see those four face. It'd be nice. That'd be very nice.
yeah, I did
And
too.
I feel like we have the Andre the Giant battle royal. I feel like having too many big matches with too many people in it wouldn't be exactly great for WrestleMania. You know?
Exactly, and I think that the Uglies and the Usos are strong enough on their own where they could have their own match and it would still be entertaining.
Yeah, you could have two tag team matches, not maybe all bunched up in one. Because if you're gonna have the battle royal, then you're gonna have all the tag teams. I feel like it would be very clustered. One big match like that, which not in terms of like, you know, of like caliber, but in terms of there'd be too many people. I think having one match with a lot of people in is plenty. So
I agree. And I just got to say that I hope we don't see something else from SmackDown carry over to WrestleMania. Because if it does, I'm going to throw a fit. The feud for WrestleMania better not be Kevin Owens versus The Big Show. That better not be the freaking feud for
KO
me.
deserves better. I'm gonna emphasize because some people like to have selective hearing too. I'm not bashing Big Show. I am not. We are not. I'm sure Raz knows where I'm going with this. We are not bashing Big Show. We cannot stand the character that he plays, and we want to punch the creative team for the way they book Big Show. But KO, I'm sure you agree with me. KO deserves so much better than Big Show. So
Well,
much better.
yeah, I mean, you didn't give me the hat, and I don't sit there and talk about the guy for no reason every week. He's one of my all-time favorite performers. He's had the greatest year, the greatest first year of anybody that I can ever remember in the company. So he needs a high-profile match, which is why originally, before this whole Y2AJ thing, I said KO versus AJ for the title. And that's still a match that I would book at some point because I would love to see it. But now it's like, who does KO face?
Because if Jericho and AJ go for a fourth time, or if they're tagging and going to face New Day, which I hope they do because that would be great, then where does KO go? But we were in the same predicament with a lot of other people. Like, where does Bray Wyatt go now? Where does KO go now?
This is the weirdest year because all these injuries has made it to where certain guys are getting their good spot, but then other guys are like, well, what about these guys? What's happening with them? That's what's happening all over the place this year.
Well, it's nice because you don't know, but at the same time, it's like, or do we have enough good stuff? for WrestleMania, you know?
I mean, they have 40-something days, so it's a lot longer than you think it is, but it's still not like a year to build this stuff.
No, we usually
So,
know what the feuds are like a couple months before. We don't know a year from now. A lot can happen between. Right now as we're talking and when Raw starts tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll know more about, the feuds and what we're talking about now tomorrow because they'll tell us more. And there'll be a lot more to talk about next week as well. So I'm sure questions that we're asking now, probably some of it will get answered tomorrow.
yeah, I think these will be the best weeks in the history of this show because WrestleMania time is always the most entertaining time in WWE. Do we want to touch at all on Roman and Triple H, or is that like a thing where we kind of knew that was happening? So
Yeah. I mean, we kind of knew it was happening, so. I mean, I have nothing against Roman Reigns or Triple H. I like the both of them, but I just, not that interested. I'm sure they'll put on a good match, but I'm not really that interested. And oh, by the way, Roman actually really hurt his nose.
he did. I was really
Which I mean,
surprised to hear that.
you can wrestle through that. And when I saw that. When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, that's really not good. That's all they need right now. And then I was like, oh, it's a nose injury. Not that, like it's not a big deal or it's not that I don't care or anything, but at least it's a nose injury and not something else. You could work around a nose injury.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, John Cena was in a match a couple of weeks after a broken nose. So I mean, there's definitely ways around it.
But, or you know what? You know what I was gonna say about Roman Reigns' nose is that it's not like you have a broken foot where you need to be like rested in a seat. Like he might, if they don't want him to wrestle really because they don't want to worsen his nose, he could still make appearances. Like walking out to the ring doesn't require your nose, So
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And if you're going to be fighting for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, you don't necessarily want to be in matches every week because you want people to miss you as a competitor.
And there's always the risk of getting hurt, so I'm pretty sure they don't want to go crazy before WrestleMania.
No, they've been building up Roman Reigns all year, so they definitely don't want, anything to happen to him, for sure.
They just want to keep all the wrestlers that are healthy in a bubble, so they have
that. That's what I was going to say. I was exactly going to say that. It's like a giant quarantine bubble right now. Like, let's just put all these guys in here and protect them and don't let anything happen to them. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, it scares me because there's Mark Henry's hurt, and there's a lot of other wrestlers hurt, but it's it's all these little minor injuries that are happening also. Like there's the severe injuries, and then I hear, I read Roman Reigns was hurt, and I was like, oh no. I was panicking. I was like, that's all WWE needs right now. And then I read it was a minor injury. I was like, okay. I was like, they can live through their minor injuries. Not a severe injury.
There's a difference between being hurt and being severely injured. There's a difference there. Last thing we didn't touch on was the Divas. The match next week between Sasha and Becky Lynch to determine number one contender. I'm predicting right now you don't get a clean finish in that match on Raw. It ends up being a triple threat for the Divas title at WrestleMania. Agree or disagree?
Agree. I would like a triple threat. We were high on triple threats last episode and the episode before that, so why not?
The only other thing that would make it better would be a fatal four-way match between all the four horsewomen. But as much as Bayley deserves to get called up, I don't expect her to be called up and put on WrestleMania when she hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown. That would be kind of unfair to people who have already been there all year.
Exactly. Oh, wasn't it Natty versus Becky on SmackDown? They've had some really interesting people that they've faced. Like they've put people together that haven't really faced before. You know what I mean? Or
They
They do
have.
like a nice twist on certain matches on SmackDown.
I agree.
So
SmackDown is becoming the place of unexpectedness. I definitely agree with that statement for sure. But I do expect Bailey to happen the night after WrestleMania. I expect Bailey to be one of the big things that makes, because the Raw after WrestleMania is always the biggest Raw ever because it's building up toward everything that's we're gonna see from here on out for the next year. So I do expect Bailey to be one of those quote unquote debuts that night. Agree with
or
that.
sometimes we always get surprise returns, or we get people called up and um wait, wasn't Sami Zayn called up or somebody was called up, right? Whatever happened to them on the how they returned at the Royal Rumble, whatever happened to them?
I'm not sure why
They like
WWE.
came up and then excuse me, just disappeared.
I'm not
From the
sure
main
why.
roster, I mean, not
Yeah,
from.
I'm not sure why WWE did that with Sammy because I thought that maybe that's where that was going to go was KO versus Sammy on a big stage of WrestleMania. But then they've still got Sammy wrestling down in NXT against Samoa Joe, which has been a great series of matches. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, if you're going to call Sammy up and have Sammy be part of Mania, it kind of needs to happen now. It can't be like like you always say, you can't just get put in a match at WrestleMania the week before WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, you need a build for it. You need a build. There's a difference between having like a surprise return because there's no need for a build for that. But if you're going to have a match, you need to have a build. You need to have some sort of build for that. Anything else that we would like to
No,
add? I think we'll find out more tomorrow as the weeks come on. So
absolutely.
not tomorrow, Monday.
I think we'll find out a lot more on Monday. And I just want to say, because I've been a bit busy and schedule changes, and I'm not watching NXT till the weekends now with Jamie. Anyway, so I haven't been able to do reviews. But if you aren't watching NXT, they got some really strong things happening over there right now, particularly with what's going on with the NXT Championship. So make sure you're keeping up with NXT because NXT is still awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm actually gonna start to tune into SmackDown because I've missed some great stuff on there. New Day and Jericho and AJ Styles. I missed Becky and Natty, who I absolutely obsessed with. Natty, I love her to death. And oh, by the way, I'm going to WWE March 25th. It's in New York, and Madison Square Garden. Daniel freaking Bryan is going to be there. It's going to be a Daniel Bryan night. I can not even tell you the amount of people that are going to be there. Triple H, AJ Styles, the Usos. I've already said Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, KO, the New Day, Big Show. A lot of people are going to be there, and it's not a network special, but it's only live for the people there. And it's going to be Dean Ambrose versus KO in a 30-man Iron Man match. And then it's going to be Daniel Bryan night, so we'll get to see Daniel Bryan there as well. And maybe, hopefully, Undertaker decides to show up because it'll be 9 days before WrestleMania when I go. I'm vlogging. I am filming, obviously taking pictures. And then I'm going to Raw April 25th. So try to see me on TV because I will be there live. So those are the two events I'm going to. I'm going to be vlogging those days and taking pictures and read the description and anything else you would like to add.
No, I was just gonna add that. I mean, how cool is it that for what, like the first time in like 2 years?
Connecticut. Please don't tell them. Please don't tell them where. It's in Connecticut, and I'm going to one Connecticut and one in New York. But I'm so excited. I've never seen Daniel Bryan live before, and it's probably one of the last times a lot of us will ever see him, unless he does special appearances like Shawn Michaels or whatnot. But yeah, it hasn't. WWE comes around here like 4 times a year. It's not always lands on a Monday. So it's been 2 years since they actually landed on a Monday for us, which is very nice. I mean, I went to 3 events last year, so they come around here quite a bit. I haven't been to like a Monday Night Raw, like it to fall on a Monday in it's been for them. It's been for 2 years, so it's been quite a while since it was live on a Monday. I went to the network special for Madison Square Garden last year, so if that counts as something. But go ahead, add something.
No, I'm good. I was done.
Okay, bye.
See you guys.